How's that? Am I still freezing? Are we working? Are we up and running? All good? Thank you, Helen. Yep, all, you can all see me, all hear me. Lovely. Right, so I was just saying we've got chat box which you're all using, which is great. Any questions, please write them in and make sure you put a question mark at the end, but make sure you take yourself back to chat, otherwise it will keep coming up as questions. And I will answer all the questions at the end, just so we can get through everything that I need to. We probably will run over an hour, so get yourself comfortable. So we're going to start with building your business. So when we get back, I'm not going to give you how to, because we don't know what it's going to look like and what it's going to be like. We can prepare as much as we want, but we don't know quite what it's going to be like. So I don't want to give you advice when I can't test it out myself. Oh, Matt's saying I've frozen again. Am I still freezing? Oh, everyone else? Can anyone else see me, or am I still frozen? No, Helen's good. Lara's frozen. Emma's good. Alex is frozen. Okay. I can move near the router. Bear with. Give me 2 seconds. Stay there. Right, how's that? My other half's working upstairs and he's on a conference call as well. So I've just got him off. Is that a little bit better? Can you see me? Just literally booted him off. I was like, Harry, get off. Cool, right. So what we need to think of is, in the salon, as a stylist and as a salon owner, it's your business, whether it's you own it personally or whether you're a stylist in the salon. The success of that salon is down to how well you guys work together. And I always say it's like sailing a ship. You've all got to work together, otherwise you're not going to go in the right direction. So that's what I want to go through today, is numbers do correlate to how successful or how close you are to your goals. So if we could just go to the next slide deck. Oh, a bit out of breath run upstairs. So today, these are some of the things, because I'm going to do this in 2 parts today. So this presentation, some of you here would have seen this before, but some of you wouldn't have. And then there's going to be a second part as well. So the first part, we're going to define what you want for your life. So I want you guys to think about past Corona. Think past Corona. Let's think, what do we want for the rest of the year? What do you want to achieve for the rest of the year? Understand where you are currently. Currently, we're all at home. That's where we are. But understanding, where are you in your career? Where are you with your salon? Where are you and where do you want to be? And that's what's going to take us on to our third one, setting the financial goals. We need to understand the financial side of things, because if you just bury your head in the sand like an ostrich, you're never ever going to know where you are. You're just going to chug along. And it's actually quite, I find, when you haven't got like a definite like financial goal set, or you don't know where you are, just chugging along, and you then end up losing that passion and losing that buzz. And you can see it in stylists when that happens, and I've had it happen to me. And I think I really want you guys to understand the finances and the numbers, because then that helps you with all the other fun stuff. And be in control of your numbers when you're looking at them, understanding what they mean and how it correlates to you. So it's quite often we print out the spreadsheet and we see it at the end of the week, or when you're filling in your trackers, and you end up just going into a bit of mechanical mode. You're just filling stuff in. We're not really sort of understanding what they mean and how we can change them to be better and make us feel a lot happier. So that's what we're going to cover today. If If we go next. So I'm going to ask you a question. What could you do or have if you made more money? So someone tell me what you would like to have or do if you had more money. A motorbike, holiday, house, a designer handbag. Ooh la la, what handbag are we going for? A car, holidays, holiday home, a new car. Own my own house, oh fantastic. Another salon. Brilliant. New wardrobe, work less, pink car. Oh, it's brilliant. So you understand what you guys want. That's the first thing. Sometimes we do get, I found when I worked so long to have my salon that once I finally got it, I then was a bit lost. And I was a bit like, well, what do I do now? What's my goal now? I've already got it. What do I do? And so sometimes we need to kind of reassess. And sometimes when we're one stage in our life, we want one thing, and then as you move through life, then things will change. But I think we need to understand what we want, and then we need to understand how much money do we need for that, because otherwise it's just a dream. You need to work out the finances. So if you want a new car, a new wardrobe, you want to buy your house, you need to work out how much you need, because then we can start to work a plan out. Do you see how we're taking that massive dream goal image of what you want, and we're starting to filter it down now to make it something we can actually do, create a path to get there. Okay, what numbers are we tracking? Share with me now. What stylists, salon owners, what numbers are you tracking now? I think mine's a little bit slow for typing. Average ticket, rebooking rate, brilliant. New clients, average spend, rebooking, retail, care factor. Wow, you guys are typing quick. Brilliant. So I'm glad to hear you are all tracking them. So what we want to do is we want to marry up now the goal with the numbers so that we know how they can correlate together and they can work. And how many of you believe you can actually achieve half these things? That's quite important, having some actual belief in yourself. So I think as hairdressers, we get put down quite a lot. And I think for the first time, I'm really starting to feel the love. I'm starting to see people really appreciate us and really feel how much they miss us and how much they need us. Does anyone agree with that? I feel like I'm, for the first time, really having people like, oh, we miss you, we love you. And it feels good. And I think when we go back, people are going to start to really appreciate us and really care about us. So I think it's going to be a really good time to start to see a shift in yourself and in your salon. Lovely. If we could skip 2 slides, Deck, and we'll go straight onto the goal tracking sheet. Now, we will put a handout for this later so you can print it out. You can take a picture now, but we're going to go through this. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot to do, and there is a lot to do. But when we break it right back down, it's not as scary as it looks. Okay, so I've made up Stylist Sally the stylist. If we go on to the next sheet, and we're going to make her annual income goal 35k. Just nice round easy number to work with. So we've got Sally the stylist, her annual income goal. So what that means, her annual income means how much she has in her pocket. That means how much she gets paid. Is everyone following me? If we get a little bit confused, please put that in the box so I can see straight away so I can explain it anymore. So we've got her annual income is what she takes home in her wages, the salon pays her, okay? Then we'll go on to her current annual income. So you guys can, when you get back, or I'm sure your salon owners might be able to find these numbers and send them over to you, but you find out what you are on currently, then you can actually use this tracker, or use this goal tracking sheet to find out your goal and how much you need to grow to get there. So how much is Sally's annual income? If we go to the next slide, is 25k. So she's on 25 and she wants to go to 35k. So if we go to the next slide, and that'll work out our difference. Okay, so how we work out the difference is we take line 1, which is 35k, and the k means 1,000 just in case. So she wants 35,000 and she's on 25,000 at the moment. Okay, so we take 35, we minus 25 gives you 10k. Following so far, yep? Okay, Now what we need to do is we need to find out how much percentage of growth Sally Stylist needs to do to reach her goal. So what we need to do is we take line 3, which is 10k, and divide it by 25k, which is line 2, and someone work that out for me now and tell me what it is. Oh, I'm not getting any chat. Have I frozen? My chat has frozen a little bit. Okay, I can't see any of the chat, so if we just go on to the next one. Lovely. So we have got 10 divided by 25 equals 0.4, which that is your percentage. That is 40%. Okay, so you have 0.4, and that is 40%. So Sally needs to grow her own business within the salon by 40% to be able to reach that goal. Okay, now here's how we can break it down even further. Okay, so we need our total yearly service sales. Now, for argument's sake, let's say she's on 33%, so it's roughly a third. We're going to times the 25k by 3 times, and that's going to give us our total yearly service sales. This isn't retail, this is just her hairdressing. Okay, so if we times 25k by 3, we're going to get 75k. If we go onto that slide deck. Lovely. So I just put there in the red, you times 3 your current annual income, but you can, our computer systems do work this out. Now, I will say, do not think for 1 second the rest of that 50k goes straight into your salon owner's pocket. I'm telling you now, it definitely doesn't, because we've got to put money aside for holidays, for education, for rent, for rates, lots of other things that I'm sure we're all kind of stressing about now, and also putting money aside for moments like this, so we have a bit of a cash mountain to fall back on if, God forbid, we ever have to use it again. So I want you guys to be aware of that, stylists in this right now, that that money doesn't necessarily go straight there, but you'll be able to look back at last year's, and if you put in, say, what's today, the 5th of May, or when we broke up from the salon a year back, that'll give you your yearly. The computer will do that. Salon IQ is very good at giving you any figures you want. So we're now going to work out total amount of clients seen in that year. So what I did was I just worked out, averagely she works 37 hours a week. Let's say she's really busy, and I timesed it by 47. 47, because we've got 4 weeks holiday plus bank holidays, so you can't times it by 52 because you don't work 52 weeks of the year. So we times it by how many weeks she was working, and that gave us a total number of, if we go to the next slide, lovely, so 37, times 47 gives us 1,739 clients a year. Is everyone following me so far? I'm seeing people type. Yep, good. Yeah, if you're not, please let me know. So I'll just recap where we are now. So we've got Sally's goal of what she wants to take home in her pocket is £35,000. She currently takes home 25k. Okay, and so we've worked out the difference is 10k. Okay, so she needs to make £10,000 up. Okay, now we've worked out that is 40% growth, so she needs to grow her business by 40% to reach her goal income. Okay, now to work out the yearly service sales, just for argument's sake, because you can go back and work this out exactly for you, I've times it by 3 because Sally is on 33% commission. So we're taking what she currently is taking home at 25k, and we are timesing that by 3 because she's on 33%, and that gives you 75k, because she currently takes home a third of what she's making because it's 33%, and that's how we get the 75k. Okay, Then I've worked out how many clients she services every year. So every year she's seeing 1,739 clients. Now we're going to work out what the average, her current average retail, her service per client, so average bill. So if we take 75k, because that's what she's putting into the salon with all of her clients, we divide that by 1,739, because that's how many clients she's seeing, is going to give us our average bill. So our average bill, we see there 75k, divide. On the computer, I can't do a divide symbol, so that's why I've got the slash there, just in case you're getting confused. And that gives us our average bill of £43.13. Okay, so at the moment, she's taking £43.13 per client at them clients she's seeing. Now we need to work out the goal average bill, what we need the bill to be for us to be able to take that money home. So what we need to do is we take the £43.13 and we times it by 1 point, and then whatever, you see it says 0.04, so we're going to times it on line 4. We're going to times 43.13 by 1.4. So whatever your percentage of growth is on line 4, that's what you're going to times it 1 point, then that number. So when you go to work this out yourself, okay? So we're going to times it by 1.4 because we need to grow our column by 40%, and that gives us our new average bill of £60.38. Okay, which then, if we work out how much we need to grow by, if we go to our next slide, is £17.25. So that's how much we need to upgrade our clients, or maybe charge correctly, because I know quite often if someone's got really thick hair, we drag down that extra time and don't charge for it, or we mix up that bit of extra colour for that extra root smudge, and we might not be charging for it. But that's how much we need to increase the bill by. So you can see we're taking that really big goal of 35k and we've broken it back down to 17.25. How much easier does that seem? Rather than us just sitting there going, oh, I wish I could earn more money. Here's a path of exactly what you need to do. Okay? And you guys can take this and apply it to you and your business straight away. Okay, so that's something for you to consider, maybe getting yourselves in the right headspace to understand, where do you want to be when we go back? What do you want to achieve? And so you can use this formulation. Now we're going to switch on. If we go to the next one, does everyone understand that actually before I swift on? And say all of the workings out are there. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, Michelle, Jordan, Lucy, Tommy, Danielle, perfect. Brilliant. Thumbs up. Love that. Right, let's move on to our retail. So that was just hairdressing, colouring, all your actual perming, all your actual physical skills that you're doing on their hair. That's that side, and we do retail separately. Okay, so this is a retail one. So I'll give you a second to take a quick picture. You will get this in a little handout as well, so you can download it and do it at your own leisure. We're going to look at our monthly retail sales goal, so what we would like it to be, and where we are currently. So let's have a look at Sally the stylist. What does she want her monthly retail sales goal to be? This is her what she wants it to be. It's not what it currently is. So if we go to the next slide. So we want it to be £1,500 a month, or every 4 weeks. We're going to work on a 4-week here. So that's, and I always work without VAT. So all these figures will be without VAT, in case we get confused. I always work without it. It's not our money. So we've got £1,500, just nice round number for us to work with. Let's find out what Sally is doing currently. We've gone to, that's fine. So we've got £750. So she's doing every 4 weeks, £750. What she would like to do is double it. Okay, so we need to find out the difference, which is pretty easy to do. We take there you go. You take 1,500, you minus 750, that gives us 750. Okay. Now we need to find out a percentage of growth. Now, how much do you think she needs to grow her column, or can someone work it out? Or not her column, her retail sales. Someone see if they can work that out. So we want to work out the percentage of growth that Sally needs to do to get to her goal. I thought you'd fall for that. Yes, we've got 50%, 50%. Yeah, there we go, 100%. Right, if we go on, it's very easy to fall into that because it's 750 is half of 1,500. You would think you need to grow by 50%. It's not, it's 100%. She needs to completely double what she's doing. So what happens is when you work this out in the calculator and you do this formulation, you're going to get 1. Okay, so if on the other spreadsheet, the reason I've done this on purpose, on the other sheet, if you need to double what you're doing, where at the bottom you need to work out your average retail per client goal, you know it says times by 1 point something, you would times it by 2. Okay, and I've done this on purpose just so it will help you out there. So we need to grow our retail size by 100%. Okay, so we've done 750 divided by 750 gives us 1, which is 100%. Okay, let's find out how many clients we're doing per 4 weekly. So we've got 37 clients times by 4 gives us 148 clients. So how do we work out our average retail per client? Someone work that out for me. I can't see any chat. No one's there. Is anyone there working it out? So what we need to do is we need to take 750 and we're going to divide that by 148 clients, and that's going to give us our average retail per client. Okay, so if we bring that slide up, oh, it's now coming through. Brilliant. If we could bring that slide up. Lovely. So your calculator will spit out, I think it's 5.067, I think, and so I just rounded it up to 5.07, so £5 and 7 pence. That's what her average retail per client is. Now we want to work out what we need her target average retail per client to be. So we're going to take the 1,500 this time, and we're going to divide that by 148 because that's how many clients we're serving every 4 weeks. And what number is that going to give us? Fab. Right, let's bring the answer up. Lovely. So I rounded it up again, just rounded the number off. So we've got £10 and 14 pence. Does anyone feel that's unachievable? No. I think when you really break it down, and I think sometimes we maybe don't have that full confidence in ourselves, and we really go, well, actually, let's take this goal and bring it back a bit because it'll probably be a bit easier to do. When you break it down and we really set that pathway, it makes it so much easier. So let's go on to how many bottles per 4 weeks. So what I've done here is it's 75 bottles. I've actually put this in slightly. Oh no, that's fine. So what I've done is I took the £1,500, so 1,500, and I divided it by 20. The reason I did it by 20, that's the average price of you for a bottle of product. Okay, so if you divide it by 4, because that's how many weeks are in a period, 19 bottles a week. But it would actually make your care factor 51%. And I thought that was very interesting when I worked that back as well, that we look at care factor and we go, wow, having a care factor of 30 is amazing. Well, how about if we did this? How amazing is that? And just to put a little bit of perspective, Brittany Newby has won Retailer of the Year I believe this is 3 times in a row. Debbie or Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong. And her average retail, I know it's in dollars, but I want to say it's about $54. So it can really kind of put this in perspective of how phenomenal whatever she's doing out there, it's working and it's great. And what she's doing is the 8 essential steps. Every client, every time. Now, Brittany, yeah, 3 years, perfect. Brittany has been given a date to go back to the salon on the 14th of May. And I was speaking to Debbie yesterday, and Debbie is going to sort out a date of where we can do a live Q&A with Brittany to talk about what does the 8 steps look like when we go back. Because I can't necessarily give you all of that information now because I can't test it out. And I don't want to say, right, we can do this, we'll do that, and then we're given instructions differently. So we're going to wait until someone's actually out on the shop floor doing it, because Brittany takes the products off the shelves and puts them in front of the clients. And if the client touches that and doesn't take it home with them, we then have to sterilise that. So it's looking at how we're going to change this and how we're going to adapt the 8 steps to work without affecting our retail per client, without affecting our average bill, and to carry on increasing. Because in the climate we're at the moment, we need to think forward, we need to think past Corona, we need to think past all of this and focus on what's going to be and what we can control rather than what's going on right now, because there's nothing we can do about that right now. But what we can do is focus on when we go back, what do we want our goal to be, where do we want to be, what are our goals, how can we get there, this is how we can get there. So stay tuned. Debbie will give you information about that and where that's going to be and when that's going to be as well. But I think that'd be a really, really important one to watch. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Let's go on from here. Sorry, Dick, everyone with me so far? Because I know numbers, if I was to show this slide to you straight away, you'd have probably all had kittens. But how are we feeling about numbers? Yeah, good. Good. Oh, it's frozen on a very funny face of mine. So let's just break this down even more. So we're tracking numbers, and I'm going to show you this, and Deck's going to put up the handouts for you to download. And on there's going to have the goal tracking sheet, and it's also going to have the retail tracking sheet, and it's going to have this sheet on there as well. There is another sheet, these are the handouts that go with the class, because this is a U4 class. So you will have other sheets, and you can fill them out, and it has about what are your goals, what can you do with money, and I think it's a good reminder to have a vision board or to have something written down to go, this is what I want to do. And then you can keep checking in with yourself, because quite often 3 months down the line we tend to lose focus, and like for instance, who's still doing their New Year's resolution? You know, we all sort of by now we all tend to fall off the bandwagon, so it's really good to have that written down and hold yourself accountable. So I couldn't get a blank one up to do this with you, but I'm going to talk you through the sheet. So we can see here, imagine this is Sally the stylist again, and we got her, so we now know what her average bill we want to be, so we can work out how many days she's working, how many clients, what our average week we need it to be. So once we've figured out all the other stuff, we can then start to fill this in. So we know that this is obviously done in dollars because it's American. Her average weekly goal is $2,000. So she works, I believe they've got 5 days a week. So you can tailor make this to how many days you work and what days you work. And I think that's quite nice. You can actually have, on one day I do this, and you can actually really tailor make this. So we need our daily goal to be 400. And as you can see, as we go along the service, we got Tuesday she took 375, and then she took 420, 25, 450, and you can see at the end she can add her total up and then work out how close to the target we are or how far away we are. And then we know what we need to do to shift and pivot to get towards where we need to go. Okay, so rather than us getting 3 months down the line looking back at this and go, oh, we hit it that week or we missed it that week. Each week and each day you fill this out, you can actually see day by day what, and then you've got a chance to change that. You've got a chance to grow. You've got a chance to look at your day and go, what can I add tomorrow? Who could I upgrade? What could we change colour? All these little things, rather than looking 3 months later and going, oh, I wish I'd have thought of that then. Or I wish I'd have added a Malibu seed treatment on then. And then if we go to number 2, which is our retail, we want our average weekly retail to be $400. We know our daily needs to be 80, and you can track that as well. And you can see in the end column, we can see the percentage there as well. And then adding up your total. So we add in the service and the retail together, and then we can track that all the way along there. Because we will have days like this where we're really, really good, and other days you won't. And so we're going to have days like that, but you can see how they've evened out, and at the end we get that picture of what actually happened that week. And as you go down, I'm sure most of you probably have trackers similar, but if not, you can adapt your trackers now to fit something like this. So you've got your new clients, your regular clients, the total clients, the pre-booking, or we would say rebooking, and you've got there your percentage of rebooking, your average service per client, so we know exactly. And I think that's an interesting thing to have that in your mind, so you know what your average bill needs to be. And then when you're looking at it every day, you could just click on and have a look. You know straight away their numbers. So day by day, you can track them, and you can go in the first thing in the morning and look and go, right, that was yesterday. This is what I need today to look like. Something really, really helpful that I found, and I was just starting to do it, and then all this happened. Something I learned actually from Brittany, and I think whatever she's going to teach me, I'm going to take and do because it works. She goes in the morning and she looks at all of her clients and works out what that will look like at the end of the day. So it might be £400. And then she'll go back over them clients and work out what they could take home. And she'll look at their history and go, well, actually, 6 months ago they took a boost, so she's probably going to need a new one of them today. Or 6 months ago we did some highlights, we probably want some more of them. And working out what new services or products we can recommend and upgrade to, and then put your new total at the bottom, so it gives you a potential of what you could have that day. And I found that really interesting. I did that with some of my team, and we found that quite interesting that I put them into groups and we worked out different potential upgrades. And sometimes I think we look and go, oh, well, I don't have the time for that. Well, actually, it could be a product. Or if you do have time, you're a new stylist starting out, then it's a fantastic time for you to look and go, okay, I've got highlights and a cut and finish, or highlights and a wet cut, and could you upgrade that client to something else? Could you do a full head if you've got the time and you're a new stylist? All these different potentials, but I think if we don't have that time and you don't set aside to actually go in it literally takes 5 minutes. It literally takes 5 minutes just to work out, your cut and finish price. And quite often I think Salon IQ brings up little things that spit out information that makes it 10 times easier for you. And we can track it day by day, but it's down to you guys to make that shift. If you want to be that top stylist earning 30, 40, 50k, they don't just show up, rock in, rock out. That's what they do. Is to be at the top of the game, you have to put that effort in. And these are the little steps you can take that path your way there. So let me go on to our next slide. So you'll have that in the handout, so you guys can have a look at that. Let's go on to our next slide. So something I want to share with you is when I did some interesting figures and working out yesterday. So how many clients do we need to be busy? And what effect does people stretching their appointments have on you financially? Because quite often we go, oh, can we just push that appointment back? I missed the last one, so 12 weeks is actually okay. But what does that mean to you? So let me just go on to the next slide. Now, there's a lot of numbers here. So and I did these two figures just to show you a growing clientele. So if you have 30 clients every 4 weeks, you need to find 120 clients to be busy. Now, quite often when you're starting out, that's a good place to start. You just need 120 clients. It's not that hard, okay? And as you can use these as stepping stones to how busy you want to be. Then if you have 35 clients a week, you need 140 clients. But if someone wants to stretch their appointments back, you now need 180 clients for them 30 clients a week, because you're going every 6 weeks. And so let's say that 6 weekly client wants to go now to every 8 weeks or 10 weeks, you can see how many more clients you need to find. And I just thought this is very interesting, seeing this, because I think when we have someone at the desk going, can we push back? Of course they can, but just remember, you now need to get your recommend a friends going, because you now need to find extra clients to fill them spaces, because now she's not coming as regular. And this is something that's really interesting for me when I worked this out, that I actually went on a course ages ago, and the stylist there was actually recommending that we push our clients back to 12 weeks. So we have them all at 12 weeks. And his theory was we'd have more cheerleaders talking about us. But the actual matter of fact of it, that's so hard. It's such a hard slog when you're first starting out, or when you come back off maternity, or when you've had time off from work and you've got to kind of start again and build again. You've really got to kind of build your way back up. And I just thought this is a very interesting thing to share with you. So I don't know if you want to take a picture, but I think especially for any new stylists or anyone that's trying to grow a clientele, this is the blueprint. This is the blueprint. And so you can see, you start with 120 or 140 clients, and then you can grow and you can sort of expand. But this is how it is important at getting them people in and getting them recommendations. But that doesn't just happen just by doing standard haircuts, because nowhere offers bad haircuts. So you've got to think. No salon goes, come to me and have bad haircuts. We know salons do bad haircuts and bad colours, but they don't offer it. And so we need to make sure that the service is on point with this as well. If we go to the next slide before I go on to service. So I just did some figures correlating to this as well. So I know people have said about stretching appointments, and when we go back, we don't know what guidelines we're going to be set. We might be told hourly haircuts, we might be told 1 in, 1 out, we don't know. So I don't want to focus on that because we don't know the results. But I know that there are stylists out there and that want to stretch appointments. Oh, she's got really thick hair, it takes me a bit longer. So I'll stretch that appointment down by 15 minutes, or even sometimes by half an hour. What financial impact does that have on you? Okay, so I worked out, if you're seeing 37 clients, so that's 1 every hour, and that includes a lunch break. This includes a lunch breaks, ladies and gents, believe it or not. So 37 clients a week, should we work 37 hours a week? This is just Sally, just on a standard, people work different hours, but you can work this out accordingly. So that works out. I just did our old service sheet back there. I did average bill at £40 just to make it nice and easy. Works out at £1,360. Now, if you had someone in the chair every 45 minutes, now I know a haircut every 45 minutes isn't going to be necessarily as easy, but because we have colours, but you're still charging for that time that someone's in the chair. So if you have an appointment every 45 minutes at £40, and I know they change for different services and things, but this is just for argument's sake for you guys to see the difference. That is £1,960. Okay, so if we go to the next bit, Deck. So how much is dragging the appointments down costing you? So I did some more figures on this. So if we go to our next bit. So I times that, because that's a week up the top there. So our hourly appointments per week. So our potential at an hour. So an hour per appointment is 1,360. Times that by 4 gives us our 4 weekly. Okay. Times that, or then I times that by 0.33 because she's on 33% commission. And she'd be taking home £1,795.20. Now, if we were doing a 45-minute appointment at £40 every 45 minutes, just let's think of dreamboat situation, our potential take home is £2,587.20. So to make yourselves feel comfortable and to have that little bit of an extra chit chat, or I know that I used to blow dry. When they're talking, because I can't hear them, I then turn the hairdryer off and stop and chat. And how much is that costing me? And it's costing me £792 a month. That's just a month. Times that by 13, because there's 13 pay periods in a year, that's what it's costing you a year. I found that really, really staggering. So for all of you out there going, I want to earn more money, this is it. Get your times down, get a little bit more efficient. But what the second part of this is about is helping you to create connections that don't cost you time. Because I find when you have really loyal customers and really loyal clients, it's because you built up a really good connection. And I don't mean a friend, because they're your clients. but a good connection. They trust you and they believe what you're saying. And you suggest something new and they go, yep, let's go for it. I trust you. Create that real bond. That's what's going to help you really grow a clientele. So, anyone find that a little bit? Yeah, I found it really shocking. Really shocking. But it's just something to food for thought, let's say. Something to think about. And if you are going to need that extra time, charge them. Explain to them, you are a lady of luxury with tons of hair. You cost me an extra 15 minutes. So I'm going to have to charge you for that extra time in a nicer, slightly different way. But you could say, you're a lady of really, really thick hair. I want to make sure I give you the perfect blow dry. And for me to give you that perfect blow dry, I need that extra 15 minutes because there's just so much more hair. We have a long hair price, and our long, thick hair price is whatever you decide it to be. We quite often charge our redesign price because then we've factored that into that cost. And so we class it as a redesign, we have it as a long hair styling, we have long hair blow dries as a different thing, as a different appointment that you can add in there. But it's just understanding that when you're mixing up that little bit extra colour and you're putting out a little bit extra onto the highlights, it's costing you money. That's £792, that's your money. It was meant to be in your wages. I found that wow. So my team that are on here, whoa, we're not going to be dragging appointments anymore, or we're going to be charging. So let's flick on to our next bit. So this is very youthful American-y, but we need to think back to our goals and what can we do? So what can we do with our clients that are going to create that loyalty? And when we have promotions and we move up the scale, we're charging a bit more, they're going to cheer us on. So what can we do? Got lots of people typing. Ask them to recommend us. Fab. Oh, it's taking a little while. I think there's so many of you typing. It's taking a little while. Yeah, keep track of your goals. I think that's really interesting, keeping an eye on everything. Upgrades. Lovely. Show them your current work images. Love that. Yep, weekly check-ins. Excellent. Lovely. Put yourself out there on social media. Fab. Right, let's flick on. Oh, if I could have the next slide. There we go. So I put a service is our saviour. That's what's going to help us grow the clientele, grow our average bill by £17. Because when people buy into you as a person, that's when you can really start to grow your clientele, and they will recommend you, because they're not going to recommend you when they don't know you. Once they start to get to know you and they realise that your heart's in the right place, you're really genuine and you care about their hair, because that's what we do. And when they can feel that, they buy into you. Once they buy into you, you create that loyalty. And that's why quite often people don't leave hairdressers for such a long time, is because they've bought into that loyalty and they're kind of locked in with loyalty. But we need to keep that consistently growing and really focus on how can we create that connection continuously, because the reason people leave hairdressers is they lose that connection. It was all bells and whistles in the beginning, and then as they've gone through the haircuts and as they've gone through life with them, they've now started to realise that actually they're getting very complacent. And I'm not classed as a claimer. Oh, don't worry, we can just squeeze her in there. Oh, it's only so-and-so, she comes in every week, she won't mind this. Your people that come in every single week are your bread and butter. They put bread and butter on your table. You need to really, really hug onto them and make them feel super special every time. Okay? Now, what are the long-lasting effects of good service? What happens when we consistently give really, really good service all the time? Oh, we've got loads of you typing. Oh, that's what happened to Val. Yes, you're right, Debbie. That's exactly what happened to Val. We take people for granted, and that it does happen a lot because we build that connection. But always, always remember, in your head, they are clients. You might have them come to your wedding, you might treat them like your nan, but remember they are a client. Your family have you to the end of the time, wherever, but they have the choice to go. They do. And no matter how long they've been coming to you, you can lose them at any point. And so service is what's going to create that real long lasting effect, but it's that consistency as well. Never ever take that person for granted. And I want to ask you a question of, what does great service look like to you? This is rhetorical, you don't have to answer this right now, but think about, what does it look like in your salon? What do you want it to look like? Have you experienced really good service before, and how did it make you feel? What does great service look like to you? And that's what you need to really question yourself about on our return. What do we need to do when we get back? What's it going to look like when we get back? So let's go on to our next slide. Ooh, frozen a bit. Here we go. So I'm just going to talk through consultation and communications. So we're just going to focus on one step. We're not going to be much longer. I know we've been here about 50 minutes already, so we might go slightly over, but we're doing quite good for time. So take us back to the absolute basics. And this is what happens with when we get a bit nonchalant with clients. We quite often don't sit down with them. We just go, oh, come on, let's take you straight through. That is one of my biggest bugbears ever. Let me just take you straight through. If I can absolutely avoid that 100% of the time, I would love to. There is sometimes occasions I might go into the basement room and have a chat with them in there if the salon's really busy and there's no seats available. But it's sitting down at eye level. Make sure you don't gown them up. And I've shared with you a story before where I went to, I don't know if I have shared this, I might have just said it the last ESON, that I went to a salon, and I'm not going to mention it, it's a really big chain, and if anyone had said they were trained by this company, I would have said they were a superior hairdresser to me. I would have been like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I went to their salon. And it was in Edinburgh. It's not anywhere that you guys know. And I was with another team member at the time, and we made appointments on purpose so that they wouldn't know, the stylists wouldn't know we're together. And we went in, and the service was so different for both of us, and it was in the same salon. And the way the salons were laid out was the mirrors were kind of like on an angle. Hang on, on an angle like that through the salon. So you could literally see every single section in the salon. And as soon as I went in, they put a gown on me straight away. And I've been teaching this for years and years and years, and I didn't believe it still happened. Please do not put gowns on people, because then they're just like a floating head. It takes their personality away. It takes that opportunity for you to really look at what I call unspoken language. Looking at, do they dress up for the salon? Do they dress down? You will have clients that come in tracky bottoms, no makeup, scruffy hair. Oh, I've just come out the gym. Them clients who don't dress up for the hairdressers. And you have some that come in dressed to the nines, heels, bangles, glitter, full face. You've never seen about the makeup. They dress up to come in. And then you know how to connect with that client. So all these little things I want to share with you now that help you create that kind of bond, and it doesn't cost you any extra time. It's just a bit of observation. Okay? Good questioning. The questions at the bottom here, I don't know if Salon IQ's on here, but I went onto their website, and they had, well, actually I just googled consultation questions. I just wanted to see some research of what would come up, and Salon IQ came up at the top, and they've got a blog on there about questioning, and it's really good. It's a really good read, guys. If you're a bit stuck on what questions to ask, how to ask them, this is just a snippet, this isn't all of them, there's loads on there. So have a little look on there, but these are just some of them for you to look through now. And what I like about these questions, they tap into a little bit of kind of like the emotion side of things as well. Like, what do you plan with your hair today? So that's me asking you, what have you thought about your hair before you walked in the shop? It's sort of asking them questions that's sort of a little bit more than just, oh, trim, was you happy? Oh, good, let's go through. And we do that when we're a little bit pushed for time. Whereas actually, some of these questions will still cut through. They'll still save you loads of time, but they add so much value. They add so much value. And if you start asking questions like these in the salon, straight away that new client will go, this stylist is different. This stylist is asking questions I've never been asked before. And I'm sure I heard from Maria's Malibu class last week, do you want your colour to talk, whisper or shout? And asking them type of questions just adds a bit of something extra, adds a little bit of personality. Oh, this person really cares. Okay, so that's something to think about, asking good questions that are going to hit people in different ways. And I've spoken about portfolio before, and I think they're so important, so important. They cut through the crap. Rather than someone sitting there trying to explain, my favourite one, I want to be blonde, but not like gold blonde, but not like ash either. I want to be kind of like an ashy gold blonde. Oh, who's had that before? I want to be kind of gold, but not really gold, but like a bit of ash, a bit of gold, really blonde, but I straighten my hair 3 times a day, and I want it for 10 quid. Yeah. Whereas a portfolio will cut through that straight away. This is the type of blonde that I would see, the unicorn blonde, I call it. That it doesn't exist. That you want it really ashy, but a little bit gold. Lovely. Lovely. My favourite. So I'll just leave that there for a little bit extra to maybe take a picture of them questions. But these are just some of the basics. Some of the basics. Yeah, I love that, Anna. Short but kind of long. I want a massive change, but I don't want any of my length. I've been growing it, and I don't want a fringe. I've grown out the layers, and I don't want any layers in the hair. And I'm quite happy with the colour, but I want to feel different. And it's them type of statements I love, because that says to me, I want to feel better about myself, but I don't actually want to commit to a massive change. And what that might be is HH Simpson tool. Let me show you. We've got 12 different styling tools here. What kind of styling tools can I give you? Yeah, quite often when they're saying things like that, like especially I want to change and I don't want this, I don't want that, but I want this, but I want that. Read between the lines. Rather than us thinking technical and thinking, what do you want me to do? Think about what's she actually saying. Because we're so caught up sometimes listening to respond that we're not actually reading between the lines. So let's go on to our next slide. So first impressions. I did some research on first impressions. I thought it was less than this. I thought it was 3 seconds. But according to scientists, you have 7 seconds. 7 seconds when you meet somebody, according to the science, is they'll make their first impression of you. So we go to our next little bit, Deck. So what impression do you want to give? And what impression do you currently give? Now, I know little changes I'm going to make when I head back. And these are things that would be interesting for you to think about. These are rhetorical. These are for you to think about. Maybe write these down. You can come back and answer them and be like, what impression do I give now? And sometimes the hardest things to answer are the things about ourselves. We don't want to admit fault. We're quite easy to blame it on someone else. Well, I haven't got any new work uniform yet, and that doesn't make me feel good. And I need my roots doing. Look at them. Jeez. I'm making a statement. But what impression does that give? And we have a really powerful tool there to make that impression. So let's go on to our next bit. Right, 5 key points to a great first impression. Okay, so the first point. Anyway, actually, someone tell me there what you think. Give me some points of what you think you can do to make a good first impression. Let's get you involved. Smile. Good body language. Smile, love that. Oh, I think I've frozen. I'm not seeing you come up in the chat yet. Let's go on to our... Oh, I think I've frozen a little bit. Oh, are we still there? Well, if we go into our first slide. Perfect, you got it right. Smile. And our next one, introductions. I thought that was very interesting. Now, when I did this research, there was 6, but I have taken one off, and you have actually guessed it, was touch. But obviously, when we first go back, we're not going to be able to do that right away. So we will incorporate that later in the line, but right now this is something just to think about for right now, something we can implement when we get back. Smiling I found very interesting because people can naturally tell a fake smile and a false smile over a genuine smile. And quite often you'll see it in pictures. You know, when you're a kid and your mum goes, smile, and they go, show your teeth. Yeah, and you can tell when someone's like laughing and smiling because they're genuinely there, warm and friendly smile. And actually, a smile can actually physically relax someone and calm them down. So that's quite interesting for you. That you just smiling at them as you're walking towards them can instantly calm them down and make them feel like, oh, this person's nice. Because remember, we've got 7 seconds. And then your introduction. I always have a little sentence that I say when I'm meeting someone for the first time. I'd normally do a handshake as well, but I would introduce myself and say, hello, I'm Nicole, I'm your stylist. And I say that, I'm your stylist, not I'm your stylist today, because I don't want them just to think of today. I want them to think of the future. So I say, I'm your stylist. If you want to come over and sit down with me, we're going to have a consultation about your hair today. And it's just a real simple, soft way, who I am, what I am. Let's go over and sit down, let's have a talk. And then I would go on to do a little bit of a salon visual tour. And I'll say, you're new to salon today, so I'm just going to give you a visual tour of the salon just so you can make yourself feel comfortable and at ease here. And I'll talk through, and I'd always point out like where the retail is, where they're going to have their hair washed, where they're going to come back to. So I'd say you'll come back to this station here, and just so you know, the toilets are wherever they are in your salon, just so, because ours are hidden away, just make people feel relaxed. They know where things are, and introducing a colleague to them. So if you're going to be doing the colour and someone else is going to be doing the cut, or if you're going to be doing the colour and someone else is going to be shampooing for you, or you've got maybe an apprentice that's doing the toner, introduce them as well. Set yourself up to win. You know, set that foundation for this is what to expect in our salon. And always don't take for granted that your regular clients know them. So whenever I have someone new in the salon, and poor Annabelle, she's one of my newest, and she's the newest in the salon, and I will say, oh, this is Annabelle. This is my newest. Say it's like my child. This is my newest. This is my youngest. This is Annabelle. Annabelle's come from us from here, and like sort of give a little bit of a background there. Annabelle may never do their hair, but I like them to know because they've been in the salon longer than Annabelle has. So I like them to feel comfortable, and I like Annabelle to feel comfortable with the clients in the salon, so she can start to get to know them as well. And if I'm not there, then they know, oh, that's Annabelle, that's Erin, that's Lara. They know who they are, rather than them calling up and they go, oh, the pink girl, the girl that had pink hair. We get that as well. Oh, the one with ginger hair. Oh, the blonde one. That way it just really helps with clearing that up, rather than going, oh, that one there that washed my hair. What one was that? Oh, I hate that. So I think if you brought them over and did that introduction, just really sets that sort of standard straight away. And then you'll find when you have apprentices coming through the salon, because that becomes natural nature, they then start to do that as well, and it just helps training a apprentice onto the salon so much easier. Right, number 3. Smile with your eyes when you're in a mask. I just saw that in the comments. You can definitely see a smile in your eyes because we are going to have their masks on, but they can. Has anyone at Halloween ever worn a mask and then when you have pictures you still smile in the mask? Then that's mad. I do that. And if you're like wearing a mask and I'm like smiling, you can't even see my face. Speech, very interesting. When I very first got into coaching, I was horrific. I've still got lots to learn now, but I sounded like I was from Essex. And I know we can't help that from time to time, but when I'm with my mum, my dad says we go into sonic sound, where he can't even understand what we're saying. We go so quick, so high pitched, and we can flip from conversations as well. So we're talking about one thing, I can talk about something else, and we'll be having sort of 2 conversations at the same time, very quickly. But does it add value? If I talk like that with my clients, are they going to see me as value for money? Are they going to respect my professional opinion? If I'm like, hi babe, oh my gosh, I've got this amazing new product I think you should try, it's amazing, so it's going to give you loads of boost and it really helps give you lots of shine as well, you're going to love it. Are you going to take that advice? Yeah, you're not going to listen. But I'm giving you the right information but it's the way we're coming across. In the research that I was doing, people are relaxed and take advice from someone that speaks calmly. If you're a loud, talky, shouty person, you are less likely for someone to take you seriously. I found that very interesting, that we have the foghorns, and we know we've got lots of people that we know, and sometimes it's just a natural thing that happens. But be aware of it, because if you are that shouty person, the person you might have in a chair might be sitting there really timid, really shy, really nervous, and they're thinking, oh my God, everyone in the salon can hear everything that you're saying right now. And that's not what I want. I want someone that's just calm. And if you listen, I found when you're watching the news at the moment, and when they're talking about, they're doing their daily updates, they're very calm and collected, and they're keeping at the same pace, even though underneath the surface, I call it the swan effect. On the surface, they're gliding and they're calm, but underneath, under the water, their legs are going 10 to the dozen. Yeah, we need to learn to calm and refine. And if you want to progress and become your goal stylist, we do have to make slightly shifts. I'm not saying change your personality. I'm just saying slow it down, calm it down, and especially in your consultations, to create that really good impression of yourself as well. Number 4. Lovely. Eye contact. Eye contact is a very revealing impression as well. There's lots of different types of eye contact as well. You have the starer, who quite often they make you feel really, I'm trying to do it now, make you feel really awkward, and they just sort of stare at you, and they make you feel awkward, and you end up going, oh, this is weird. Anyone else feel a bit weird right now? I'm just staring at a webcam. This is very strange. In my conservatory. And then you have what's called a fleeting eye contact, and you'll know they're not normally very nervous, and they'll look at you and look away, and they'll look at you and look away, and look at you and look away, and they'll quite often do that, and you'll find that happens a lot. I notice that a lot in consultations. And what's that saying? If someone can't hold long eye contact with you, what's that saying? See, this is the unspoken language. This is the other stuff that they don't necessarily teach you all the time. This is how to create that connection, read it from someone. Yeah, they're not confident. Exactly, they're not confident at all. So we need to find these things and look at these little cues. How are they sitting? How are they speaking? Are they a loud person? Quite often you'll find if they speak really loud and they stare at you a lot, it means they're quite confident and they're trying to own that conversation, trying to overpower. Yeah, quite a lot of men tend to do that. I work quite on a line that's quite close to London. Well, it goes directly into London. And I have a lot of city men that come in on Thursday evenings. And I remember having a gent that actually he'd sit in the chair like this. And I'd be cutting his hair and I'm like, can you sit up straight? Like, this is really difficult for me. Like, what are you doing? And so I knew with him, because he was really confident, almost borderline arrogant, I could be a bit more bolshy with him. So it's finding these little impressions, because not only are they making an impression of you, but you're having an impression of them. So it's taking these little indications that don't cost you any time, don't cost you any money, but can make you a lot of money as well, because they can create that connection. They're really nervous, they're really shy. I can tell they're not very confident themselves. So let me ask questions that's not too revealing, but I'm just going to get enough. Then as they start to build confidence with me, you can then press a little bit more. Okay, so we're looking at the eye contact and understanding, are they a starer? Can they hold good contact? If you can hold good contact with eye contact with someone, then it's actually going to create a really good connection. So if you could connect with your clients by using eye contact, it shows you're in control, it shows you're confident as well. And you want to give off confidence, even though you might not feel it. They might be saying stuff, and you have them clients, I've got clients that scare the bejeebus out of me, but they won't know that, because I will make sure that I can hold good eye contact with them, that I'm in control of the conversation as well, but it's a shared conversation that we're going to go through with this. Okay. And yeah, Chloe's just said that people don't like coming to hairdressers. Yeah. I had someone years ago, and she said to me, do you know what, I'd rather be in the dentist chair right now. I am so scared. And so I questioned that a little more. Why? What makes you say that? And I love doing that as well. Throw the question back to them. What makes you say that? I want to change today. I want to feel different. What makes you say that? Then you're throwing it back to them. You haven't got to think of a question then. Well, why are we saying that? What do you want to do? And yeah, they just get super nervous. They've had, like I said, hair salons don't advertise for bad experiences, but people get them. And your hair is the crown you can't take off. And so it's really important to make them feel as comfortable and relaxed and at ease as possible. And these are things that we can control to do that. And last but not least, number 5, body language, which you all said before. And looking at body language, you can see they all fall together so easily and they all just melt together really well. Looking at how are they holding themselves? Are they standing with their shoulders back? Are they hunched over? Their posture, their hand gestures, their facial expressions. I find it really interesting when my nephew, not so much now, he can speak now, well-ish, and he can tell you what he wants without saying a word. He can point with his gestures and his face. You can tell he's happy or not, or it's the unspoken language, and that's what I want you guys to really delve into. Look at their body language. How are they sitting? Are they smiling? Look at their eye contact. Talk at like how are they talking to you? And you'll grab so much information for you to be able to use and create that really good connection with your client. And once you've got that connection, you quite often have a client for life. And this doesn't cost you any extra time. It's just noticing them little flags here and there and picking up on them, and then adjusting your service and the way you conduct yourself with the client accordingly to hit them points and to make them feel comfortable. And then you've got them. And then once they trust you and you've got that integrity with them, I can't say that word, integrity, you're laughing. And then the recommendations will come in without you have to work for them. How amazing is that? Rather than us pushing that recommendation, if we just push that connection and we get that trust, we don't even have to work for that recommendation. You hand them a recommend a friend and they want to help you. They want to help you out. If we go to our next slide. Yeah, and as Debbie said, it's going to be really important when we go back, really important to make them feel as comfortable as possible. So that's what we can do. Oh, I've gone backwards. Oh, here, so I've gone through some extra bits for you. We can flick through these quite quickly. I don't know if you want to take pictures of these, as I've kind of explained a lot of this anyway. So yeah, the human face has an extreme expressive, has lots of different expressions and able to convey emotions without, let me just move this because my screen's in the way. There we go. Convey countless emotions without saying a word. Facial expressions are universal. Oh. You can create happy, sadness, you get the idea, and they are usually the same across most cultures as well. Oh, I think I can change the, I think I can move the slides. Body movement and posture. So like I said, how people are standing, sitting, how they walk, even how they hold their head. Because you can have someone that's like this, and that's bored, or you can have someone that's like this, and they're interested. And I found that a very interesting concept as well. Gestures, how they point, beckon people. And sometimes I find, especially when I've been to Italy, they're very expressive with their hands. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to use your hands, because it's going to help add to that personality that people can then buy into as well. Because I think if you're just sitting with your hands down and very rigid, it's hard to buy into that because there's no personality there. So don't be afraid to be a bit expressive with yourself as well. Lovely. Eye contact. So I've said to you as well, this is a non-verbal communication, really, really important one that, like I said, it gives you a wealth of information there that you can really look and see. How are they? Are they confident? Are they not confident? Can they hold eye contact? And it's important because they'll be doing this to you as well, unconsciously, because that's what makes up the impression. Lovely. Space. I found this one interesting as well with body language, that when you're too close to someone, you're going to make them feel awkward. And now that spatial awareness is really heightened at the moment, really heightened. I hope this stylist doesn't mind me sharing this, but I've got a stylist of mine, and she was at a supermarket, and someone was a bit close, and she actually stopped and was like, "Excuse me, can you back up, please?" And I think that takes a lot of confidence, and I was really proud of her. I was like, "Well done," to actually turn around and be like, "You're in my space. I need you to back away," and to actually say that. And that we're going to have that when we get back. So it's really important to be really, really aware of that right now and make people feel as comfortable as we can with them situations. So we are finished. I hope I've given you lots of information to go back and start to implement straight away. And I love this. I have adapted the Euphora presentation quite a lot to fit us, but I love this. I will have this because I am a hairstylist. I love that because we can have it if you want to. These are some of the really, really small steps we can take, and they don't cost the world. It costs you 15 minutes in the morning to go in and prep the day. Okay, it takes you 2 seconds just to sit there, no, 7 seconds actually, and look at the impression of that client. And don't take for granted them regular clients, because the impressions they might be giving you when you go back might be different. So really read into that, really look at that as well, and understand what's their body saying to me right now, that unspoken language. So thank you very much for attending today. We've gone a little bit over, so I appreciate your time, and I want you to enjoy the rest of your week and set time aside to plan your future. This is all about you and what you want to do. So plan and set time aside, download them handouts, and really think about, what do you want when you go back? What kind of stylist do you want to be? And I want to hear all your success stories. Any questions? Don't hesitate to add me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can ask me a question. But again, like I said, these are just a real snippet of the 8 essential steps of what the potential is for you. And so we have a lot available to us at the moment in time, and we have time on our hands to get ourselves ready and get our heads in the right headspace. So thank you very much for attending. Yes, refresh and focus. Thank you very much there, Sophie. So stay safe, stay healthy, and I can't wait to hear of your successes. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Nicole. That was really good this morning. You've given some people some actions to go ahead and look forward to and work out before they get back into the salon, I'm sure.
Definitely.
I can see, Marcus, you've asked for any slides available.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to pop these slides up on P4H Pro as soon as we're finished.
Yep.
That handout as well is available on P4H Pro. If you guys haven't downloaded it directly from here, you can hop over there and download that to fill that in as well. Don't forget, we do have some webinars coming up this week. We've got Debbie's Business Bite on Wednesday, and we have the Q&A with Jude Rizzo on Thursday. We're actually taking pre-questions for Q&A on Thursday. So if you have any questions that you have in mind for Jude in regards to the census, I will we'll let you know on P4H Pro where to post those questions beforehand. So Jude will have a nice array of questions loaded up before that webinar starts to answer. And then finally on Friday, we have Daniel with Getting Ready to Open with Passion for Hair. So I'm sure he'll be covering a lot of bases there on what to do. It's giving you some ideas of what to do when you reopen and getting ready to reopen. So thanks once again, Nicole.
Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully giving you lots of homework now to go away and start doing.
Perfect.
Lovely.
See you later, Nicole.
Right. See you later, guys.
Bye.